I use a lot of dirty words. And no, I'm not talking about F-bombs. I'm talking about really dirty stuff. Like black magic, witchcraft, and dirty words like spellcasting. All these words are considered taboo in some circles. I guess I have to face the fact that I'm a faceless YouTuber with a potty mouth. Everything I spit out in my articles, books, and videos is pure trash in some people's eyes. And yes, I'm sure that there are many people who would like to hang me as a witch. But if you don't like me, well, all I can say is,
come get, bitch.
Let's just say that I have a great deal of internet courage hiding behind this screen. And in this video, I'm going to dish out the truth about witchcraft and how learning the craft can help you go from rags to witches. So stay tuned. I used to be really offended when people called me a witch. I would adamantly deny that I had anything to do with witchcraft. And then I would go back to my altar and put a hex on them. No, I'm just kidding. It was just a mere coincidence that everything in their lives turned to shit after they crossed me. And that's my point. Witches have power. And unlike the pretty girl in the room who everyone secretly hates, people make it known that they hate witches. Why? Well, there is hundreds of years of indoctrination behind this hate. You see, for hundreds of years, our ancestors were polytheists. They lived very close to nature and thus believed that there was a god of the wind, of the sky, of thunder, of love, and fertility. With so many gods, society devolved into dueling tribes. It became increasingly difficult for governments to control their constituency and to unite them under a common cause. So as a result, monotheism was introduced. Yet, in order for monotheism to work, the powers that be had to destroy the gods and goddesses of yesteryear. And what better way to do that than to target their worshippers? We see this entire thing playing out in the 1996 cult classic, The Craft. Nancy, the protagonist turned antagonist, represents all the women who were accused of being loose and slutty. These were the women who were accused of fornicating with the devil. Why? Well, because you can't use your sexuality as a means of gaining power. And anyone who does so is immediately classified as a witch, you know that. Then there's Bonnie, a humble, dowdy girl who was badly burned. And of course, her scars represent all the witches who were burned at the stake during the witch hunts. There is Rachel, the only black witch who is harassed by a racist mean girl. And she, of course, represents the degradation of African religions all across the world. Because how can people who practice voodoo be evolved as those who practice any Western religions? It's just not possible. Besides, black magic is evil, baneful, primal, and all the people who hold these views are fucking racist. Last but not least, there is Sarah. She is a naturally born witch who has no idea how to use her power. As a result, the power turns inward. She becomes self-destructive, causing Sarah to become depressed and even suicidal. All the girls go to the same private Catholic school, a Christian institution that is notoriously known for killing witches. Now, witches are now known as the misfits and the weirdos.
You are the weirdos, mister.
They are the wanton women who use their sexuality as a means of power. However, that wasn't always the case. Witches used to be healers. People from all walks of life traveled to seek their guidance, and tribal leaders consulted with them before making major life decisions. They were revered and thought to have special connections to God and, yes, Mother Earth. Some people believe that witches possess some form of supernatural power. They believed that witches could see the future, perform miracles, and even cure diseases almost entirely. They could do this because they understood the inner workings of Mother Nature. And as a result, they could help people amass riches, love, healing, and good fortune and good health. We see this happening in the craft, where Nancy transforms from a downtrodden girl to a wealthy woman. Bonnie's scars magically disappear, through a miraculous medical procedure, that is. Rachel is finally able to seek revenge on the racist mean girl who had been bullying her. And Sarah is able to give Chris a taste of his own medicine. She ensnarls him into a love spell that he can't seem to escape from. Sadly, because of the witch hunts, there's a great deal of information that has been lost in translation. And people fail to understand that our ancestors operated from a different mindset. They believed that we were all one. They believed that everything and everyone was interconnected. Thus, hurting other people was tantamount to hurting yourself. Hence the saying that whatever you put out there,
you get back ×3.
However, what people fail to understand is that practicing witchcraft is much harder today. Why? Well, because we don't operate with the same mindset as our ancestors. We live in a very selfish, egotistical culture where we are groomed to always put our own needs first. And sadly, many of us have been victims of trauma, adversity, and even abuse. This is a problem because whenever you start tapping into the earthly power that is associated with the craft, the power magnifies. The power magnifies the darkness and the light that is already inside of you. You see this when Nancy becomes drunk with power and turns into a complete nut. The darkness is so powerful within her that she loses control of it. Nancy and her minion witches attack Sarah. Sarah, in a state of desperation, realizes that she can no longer fight back without surrendering. She knows that she has to become this empty vessel. And of course, in order to do that, she has to surrender to the forces of Mother Nature almost entirely.
You must invoke the spirit.
When she does this, none of her darkness is magnified. Rather, she's an empty vessel that Mother Nature works through. Nature will then work to seek balance, causing the least amount of damage while relieving you from any responsibility and any repercussions from the outcome. Sarah, a once young and distressed woman who was often suicidal, she then transforms from this process. Unlike Nancy, she doesn't go batshit crazy. Instead, she becomes incredibly powerful. She becomes a badass witch. Now, don't worry. You can amass this kind of power too. All you have to do is surrender, trust, and allow Mother Nature to work through you. This was another video essay by the Modern Mystic.